Hey guys, it's Holly, and today's video is very different because I want to share with you a social deduction game that I've been obsessed with for a long time that I'm really passionate about. And if you think games like Town of Salem, Among Us, Werewolf are logic intensive, this game is way more. And the more you play this game, the better you are able to read people. The name of this game in Chinese is called Langrensha. And put simply, this game is very similar to Mafia, where there is an informed minority of bad guys, the werewolves, trying to kill off an uninformed majority of good guys, the townspeople. But unlike regular games of Mafia where you throw around blind accusations and it's about who has a louder voice, in this game you really have to listen to people's speeches because people speak one by one, and there are crazy plays that you can make as both town and werewolf to carry your team. I've played over 2,000 games on the Chinese Werewolf app, and I've gotten really good. I have a really high vote accuracy of 87% of the time, which means that when I play as a townspeople, I vote out the werewolf 87% of the time. I've always wanted to talk about this game with people because it's my favorite game of all time, but this is a game that's really obscure in the United States. So hopefully by making this video, I'm able to share this game with more people, and in the future, I can play with someone in real life. So in this video, first I'm gonna teach you how to play the game so you know the rules, and then I'm gonna share some footage of a Chinese werewolf game I played, but all the players are speaking English. So you'll have the chance to scum read to see who is a werewolf and who is the townspeople, and let me know if you get it right. Now first, how to play the game. A standard game of Chinese Werewolf consists of 4 werewolves, 4 gods, and 4 civilians, with a total of 12 players. The 4 werewolves are like the bad guys, and they can pick to kill one person every night. They can even choose to kill themselves if they want, because sometimes this can be a strategy. The 4 gods each have special abilities. The Seer can check a person every night to see if they are a good person or a werewolf. This is similar to the sheriff in regular Mafia. There's also a witch, who has 1 heal potion and 1 poison, but they can only use one of them on a single night. For example, on night 1, if the werewolves decide to kill player number 1, and player number 2 is a witch, then player number 2 will know that the werewolves tried to kill number 1, and they can decide whether or not they want to use the heal potion to rescue number 1. And typically, the witch will always save night 1, which guarantees that no one dies on the first day. The only caveat to the witch to be aware of is that the witch cannot self-heal. So if the werewolves attack the witch, then they cannot use the heal potion to heal themselves. Then later on subsequent nights, the witch can listen to other people's speeches and decide whether or not they want to use their poison to poison someone who they think is a wolf. There's also a god called Hunter. The Hunter's ability is that if they die, they can take someone down with them with their gun. So let's say the werewolves kill them during the night, or if they get voted out during the day, then they can use their gun to shoot someone and kill someone with them. The next god that I'll introduce is the Tombkeeper, and the Tombkeeper god has a very special ability that other townspeople don't have. They can dig through the tomb to find out the true identity of who was voted out during the day. If someone gets voted out in the day, their true identity, whether they're a werewolf or civilian, is not actually revealed to the town, but the Tombkeeper is the only one who knows. The Tombkeeper can check the grave to see whether the person who got voted out is a werewolf or a good person. There's also 4 civilians. The civilians don't have any special abilities, so they'll just have to use their brain to figure out who's the werewolf and vote them out during the day. The win condition of the werewolves is to eliminate either all the gods or all of the civilians. This is not the same as gaining majority in the town. For example, if there are 5 players left in the game, there's 4 civilians alive and only 1 werewolf is left. The werewolf still wins because all the gods have been eliminated. This makes it so the good people have to be really careful about sharing their identity. The win condition of the good people, the gods and civilians, is to eliminate all the werewolves. Once they vote out all the werewolves, whether it's during daytime voting or the hunter's gun or the witch's poison, the good people win. There are 2 phases in the game. There's a day phase and the night phase. The game will always begin in the night phase, where the wolves decide who they want to kill, the seer decides who they want to check, and the witch decides whether or not they want to save the person that the werewolves killed. Then, after everyone wakes up, there's a special event on the first day called election phase. And this is what makes Chinese Werewolf so much more fun compared to Mafia or other social deduction games. So hear me out. Once the day starts, the people will decide whether or not they want to go on election and run for the sheriff of the town. If you are elected sheriff, the sheriff gets a shiny badge that gives them 0.5 extra voting power, and they get to decide the speaking order of who speaks first, and then make a concluding speech at the end of the day. Additionally, the sheriff can pass around their badge after they die, so if they get killed, they can give the badge to another player, and pass the power of 0.5 extra votes and the power to control speaking order to that other player. This is why it's a huge incentive to the seer to run for the sheriff. If the seer gets the badge, then they can have extra voting power and communicate who they checked with their badge. For example, they could leave what's called a badge flow, aka who they want to check next. So let's say they leave a badge flow of number 5, and number 5 is a good person. The werewolves decide to kill the seer at night. Then the seer can give number 5 the badge, so that they can tell everyone that they checked number 5 in the night and that 5 is a good person. This allows the seer to communicate who they checked, even if they die. Obviously, because the seer having the badge is extremely dangerous to werewolves, the werewolves do not want the true seer to get the badge. So in Chinese Werewolf, it is meta for a wolf to pretend to be a seer and run for the sheriff. The wolf seer could pretend to be a real seer by saying, oh, I checked this person and they are a golden water, which means good person, or they are a werewolf. And then everyone who decided not to run for election will vote, and they'll decide who actually gets the badge. Now I hope you have some tingling of how the game works. It's okay if you don't completely understand, because I'm gonna show you some footage of a game I played in Chinese Werewolf. The app I'm playing it on is a Chinese app, so people usually only speak Chinese there. But I was playing with a group of people who wanted to practice English, so everyone gave their speeches in English. We played in a special mode called Tomb Keeper and Gargoyle, where you had those 4 gods, the seer, the witch, the hunter, and the tomb keeper, but the werewolves have a special big wolf called the gargoyle. So instead of 4 regular werewolves, there are 3 regular werewolves who can meet each other at night, decide who to kill, and there's the big wolf called the gargoyle. They don't wake up with the other werewolves, so they have no clue who the other werewolves are, but every night the gargoyle can choose to check the true identity of another player. Let's say they check the witch, then they'll know the person they checked is the witch. If they check the werewolf, they'll know, oh, so this is my werewolf buddy. So now, without further ado, I'm going to show you footage of 2 seers counterclaiming each other. One seer is the true seer, but one seer is sent from the wolves to try to win over the badge and vote out the true seer. In this game, I was player number 2, so I decided to go off election and choose who I wanted to vote for as seer. I'm not going to tell you whether I'm a civilian or werewolf, so that whatever I vote and whatever I say won't interfere with your judgment of who's the seer, but you can try to listen to my speech to try to think whether I am a liar. At first, the game begins with players deciding whether or not they want to run for election, and the player on election number 5 was randomly chosen as the first speaker, and he decides to claim seer.
亮了，开始竞选警长。5号玩家请发言。
Number 10 is my golden water. Number 10 is my golden water. The first batch flow goes to number 6. I'm going to check one nearby me to help me to conclude the votes and to be the last one to speak. So the first batch flow goes to number 6. Number 10 is off the election. My golden water is off the election. So I would only leave one more off the election. The second batch flow, I would like to pick one on the election. So I want to clear the left-hand side probably. I would check number 1, okay? The second batch flow, I would probably pick number 1. If number 1 jumped, I would just choose number 3. Because number 6 is like, on the like letter side, down side of the left-hand side, I would choose 1 card on the upper side on the election on the left-hand side. So my batch flow goes to number 6 and number 1. If number 1 jumped, then will be number 3. 10 is my golden order. The reason I check on 10 is because recently number 10 is very sensitive of detecting the god cards. So I think if number 10 is a werewolf card, we better vote number 10 out at the very first round without giving number 10 an opportunity to find out the god card and to discuss at night. But very fortunately, this round we picked number 10 as a golden order. I believe probably I will receive some bashing saying that it's a very far away check from me. But on this board, actually everyone is very familiar with each other. So I just tried to pick one that I'm curious about most. So I checked number 10. And 10 is card is off the election. 10 is my golden order. And I repeat, I check number 6 as my first batch flow because I have to have someone to help me to conclude a vote. So I'm wondering if number 6 is a good card or bad card. If a good one can help you to conclude, I can let number 6 to speak last. And also, I need a vote from the cards of the election. As the first one in the election, I do not have a really clear perspectives of the card who is going to jump against with me. So actually, the first patch flow played on number 6 is also asking the vote from number 6. I sincerely need a vote of the election, also my golden order. I hope you can believe me. About the cards number 2, number 7, and number 8, these 3 cards that I haven't mentioned. But I sincerely hope that you can vote for me because temporarily you are not in my perspectives. But probably the results will change my feeling on your cards. So you better vote for me. I'm not sure who's going to jump against with me, but I think that's all I can leave the remarks presently. Vote for me. I'm the real Seer.
So that was number 5 speaking. I tried to make some notes on the side so you can better follow along, but essentially what number 5 said was that 5 was a seer and said they checked number 10, and 10 is a golden water. And golden water means that they checked 10 and 10 is a good person. They left their badge flow, which is who they want to check next, as number 6, number 1, and number 3. And this just means that they want to check number 6 first, and then they want to check number 1. But if number 1 is a wolf who decides to counterclaim Seer and jump against number 5, then they'll instead check number 3. So that's why number 5 said his badge flow was number 6, number 1, and number 3. And what 5 meant about the reason they checked 10 is because 10 is sensitive about detecting god cards. Just means that 5 is scared that if 10 were to be a werewolf in the game, then 10 would be able to listen to people's speeches and find out who are the hidden gods, and 10 would be able to silently kill those gods. So that's why 5 checked number 10, mostly because you can just determine that as 5 is scared that 10 is werewolf, so 5 checked 10. You can think to yourself whether or not you trust number 5's speech, but now I'm gonna go to number 1's speech, who is the next person to jump as Seer.
1号玩家请发言。
Number 9 is my gold water from last night. My batch flow is gonna be number 10 and number 2 in this sequence. The reason I chose the number 9 for last night was actually because number 9 is one of the people that I find it hardest to determine the identity. Because every time number 9 speaks, I kind of low-key suspect him. That's why I figured if I don't check on number 9, I would probably just keep on punching number 9 throughout the game. And if number 9 is a good person, then I'm just doing a wolf a favor. That's why I had to check on number 9. The reason I'm deciding my batch flows to be 10 and 2 are as follows. Based on number 5's speech, number 5 spent a really long period of time talking to number 10. I think number 5 and number 10 can't be meeting each other at night. But based on that, I kind of want to check on number 10 more, because if number 10 turns out to be a werewolf, then there's only the chance that she is actually the gargoyle. She can't be a small werewolf, because 5 jumping out has to be a small werewolf, and 5 and 10 doesn't meet each other. And if number 10 turns out to be a good person, then, well, it's also a good thing, because later on my identity will be shown, because there will be a tomb keeper, whether or not if we vote out number 5, the wolf, or if you people side around and vote on me, I will turn out to be a good identity. So it's kind of important to check on number 10, because if number 10 is good and number 5 is a wolf, then probably people would keep on punching number 10. The reason I wanted to check on number 2 and not 6 was because number 5 left 6 in his batch flow and didn't leave anything, didn't really pay any attention to number 2, because I believe number 5 said if number 1 jumped out, he was going to check on 3. I think that's what he said. So for him to deliberately leave 2 out of his checking orders kind of made me more suspicious and more curious of number 2's identity. So I've decided my batch flows to be 10 and 2. As for number 3 and number 4, I'm regarding number 4 a good person for now because if number 4 is actually playing hooking by punching number 5 before I even got a chance to speak, then he probably wouldn't even compliment on number 5's fullness of his speech. Number 4 said, "This is really brilliant." Number 5 spent 140 seconds talking. Even though number 5 was the first speaker, I feel like if number 4 is trying to win my protection, he probably wouldn't really compliment on number 5. So number 4 doesn't really seem to be a wolf. And number 3, I kind of wanted to check on him, but I have to leave 2 badge flows, and I don't think it's realistic for me to leave 3, so I'm leaving 3 out for now.
So that was number 1's speech, and she is counterclaiming number 5 on being the seer. First of all, I just want to say that I love number 1, and she has an amazing speech. And I'm just going to explain a bit more detail number 1's points to you so you can decide whether you trust number 1 or not. So number 1 said that she checked number 9, and 9 is the golden water, which means 9 is a good person. And then she wants to leave her badge flow as number 10 and number 2. So she wants to check number 10, who is number 5's golden water, and then she wants to check number 2, who is me. The reason she checked number 9 at night is because she was scared that if 9 was a good person, she might mistake number 9 as a werewolf because number 9's speech is a little hard for her to identify. So that's why she decided to check number 9. From listening to number 5's speech, she thinks that number 5 and number 10 are not 2 regular werewolves who are able to identify each other at night and then speak to each other. So she thinks that 10's identity could either be a good townsperson or a gargoyle. Because remember, this is a special mode we're playing called Tombkeeper and Gargoyle, where there are 3 regular werewolves and a gargoyle who doesn't meet the other werewolves at night. So that's why she wants to check number 10, just in case number 10 was the gargoyle. The reason number 1 wanted to check me as her second badge flow was just because 5 did not mention number 2. Because 5 said he wants to check people on the left side, and he says he wants to check number 6, number 1, and number 3, but 5 kind of ignored me, who is number 2. So that's why number 1 wants to leave me as her second badge flow. So that's kind of the main idea of number 1's speech. Now, I'm gonna give you a few seconds to decide if you were in this game and you were off election like me, would you vote for number 1 or number 5 as a sheriff? If you want to play along, leave your answer in the comment below and explain why you think number 1 is a seer or number 5 is a seer. And next, I'm just gonna reveal who I voted for. So I voted for number 5 along with number 8 and number 10. And then 6 and 7 voted for number 1. So because of this, number 5 has the badge, and he can determine who he wants to speak first. Also, nobody died on the first day. He decides a speaking order, and I'm just gonna jump to my speech, and then we'll go my speech, number 1 speech, and then number 5 speech, so that you can listen to our speeches and then determine that after everyone speaks, who would you vote for? And whether or not you think that I'm a werewolf.
2号玩家请发言。
First of all, the 2 people I marked as good from election speeches were 4 and 9, because 4 made the only valid point of punching number 5 is that 5's badge flow kind of assumed that 6 is a good person by leaving 3 badge flows on the left side. So he did kind of make that assumption with his badge flow, even though he did not outright say it. That's the only point that I think 5 doesn't speak very well in, but the rest of 5's speech is pretty good. And it's pretty clear that from the first person he's speaking, he prepared for his speech at night. So obviously this could be a wolf thing to do, but I think judging from the fullness of his speech is pretty good as the first speaker. I don't think number 1's speech is looking for wolf, because number 1 said she left her badge flow as 10 and 2. And the reason she left her badge flow as 10 is because 1, she doesn't think that 5 and 10 meet each other at night. She thinks 5's speech and number 10 doesn't meet each other at night, but 1 says that 10 could be the gargoyle. But first of all, 1 has not heard 10's speech. So how should she make the assumption that out of all the good people / non-red wolves, 10 could be the gargoyle? So 1's reason for leaving 10 as her first badge flow isn't looking for wolf. And from 1's perspective, if 1 was a real seer, on election after listening to 3 and 4, 3 should have been her first batch flow, even though I think off election 3's speech sounds good. But from 1's perspective, if 1 was the seer, 3's speech on election was he said 5's speech is really formatted, but 3 still trusts number 5. So from election speeches, 1's first batch flow should have been number 3, but 1 still said 10 and 2, even though she did say she had suspicions on number 3, but to leave 3 as her third batch flow if she could have a third batch flow. So I really don't think 1's speech was looking for a wolf. And 1's reason for leaving number 2, her reason was because 5 didn't mention number 2, but 5 also didn't mention 7 and 8. So I don't think that's like a valid reason to leave 2 over 3 from 1's perspective if I think 1 is like the seer speaking there. So that's why I think 1's speech isn't actually looking for wolves. I think to look for seers, you don't need to like listen just to their tone, but to listen to the logic and whether they're actually looking for wolves. So that's why I think 5 is a seer, because 1's speech and like her batch flow isn't actually looking for wolves. So that was my speech, and my topic sentence was kind of just 1 is not the seer because 1 is not actually looking for wolves. Because 1's reason for wanting to check number 10 was that 5 and 10 don't meet each other, so 5 and 10 cannot be 2 regular werewolves, but 10 could be the gargoyle. Well, out of all the people in the game, there are 7 other good people, excluding herself, and there's 1 gargoyle. Number 1 wants to go for that 1 in 8th chance that number 10 is the gargoyle to check number 10, even though 1 already highly likely thinks that 10 is a good person. So that's how 1 is not really looking to check wolves. She's looking to check a good person. That was my first point. My second point kind of involved number 3, where I said that if number 1 was really looking for a wolf, number 1 should have checked number 3 instead of number 2, who is me. And because you haven't heard number 3's speech, you can choose to ignore this point. So here, I'm gonna go to number 1's response.
1号玩家请发言。
Well, I definitely won't be able to tell you my checks because it's either I get voted out on the day or I get killed at night and I don't have a badge, so I can't show you my other check. Well, from what I heard from number 2 and 3, they're both twisting my words a little bit. For number 3 was saying that I shouldn't have said that. Oh, what did he say again? Let me just think. Oh, he said I shouldn't have called on the tomb keeper to come out and rescue me, but that was not my intention. I didn't call on any god to come and rescue me. The reason I mentioned and spoke of the tomb keeper was actually part of the reason I wanted to check on 10, because even though you can't really know that I'm a real seer for now, over time, the tomb keeper will tell you. And by that time, I think it's really important to check on 10 because while refer to number 2's twisting my words, 2 said that I shouldn't be saying that number 10 could be a gargoyle when number 10 didn't even speak. The reason I mentioned that was because I could detect from 5's attitude towards 10 that 5 does not meet 10 at night. And if 10 actually turns out to be a wolf, then I know for sure 10 is a gargoyle. And a gargoyle is a much more valuable check for actually the seer than like a ordinary small werewolf. So number 2, you're twisting my speech. And number 3 is also twisting my speech. So from what I heard by now, there are only people who are supporting me and people who are punching me but not punching me correctly. However, I don't think 2, 3, and 5 are definitely 3 werewolves. In fact, I think they're like the maximum amount of werewolf that comes from 2 and 3 can be only 1. So either 2 and 3 are both good people missing parts of my speech, or 2 and 3, there's 1 werewolf lying within them. As for number 11, it's kind of suspicious because number 11 punched number 6, even though number 6 didn't show any attitude towards 1 and 5. If number 11 really wanted to work for me, the true seer, she shouldn't have punched on somebody who has a valuable ticket for the seer. For number 8 and 12, I think, like, if I check on 11 tonight, I probably know if 11 or 12, like, one of them is a good person or, like, the other is a good person, because I kind of agree with what my Goldwater said, even though he didn't trust me. I think for now, my wolf pits are 5 and 8, because I didn't mention 8, and 5 didn't even, like, mention a lot about 8, but 8 voted for 5 without any reason, and 2 got punched by me before she spoke, so she could be just rebelling towards my speech. That's my opinion. I think 5 and 8 are two werewolves, but 2, 3, 11, and 12 are something that I need to check on, and the rest I don't really have any suspicion.
5号玩家请
First
发
batch flow
言。
number 7, second batch flow number 4. First batch flow number 7, second batch flow number 4. I put first batch flow for the cards who vote for number 1. Only 6 and 7 votes for number 1. I think the speech can tell lies, but the votes cannot make up, right? So I think I would check one of them deserve the highest priority. The reason I choose number 7 is because I do not want to check number 6. Otherwise, it will be 4, 5, 6 too close. I want to open the right hand side, so I choose number 7. If 7 is golden water, I also can softly define number 6, right? If 7 is good, then 6 is very, very suspicious. If 7 is wolf, we can temporarily put number 6 down. That's the reason I put number 7 at first. And then I'm talking to number 2, number 8, number 9, and number 10. You cards are supporting me. Except my card number 10, my golden water, I gave you some pressure. Because you are supporting me, so please vote number 1 out. Otherwise, if you change your vote, it will be very obvious. For the remaining cards, number 3, number 4, number 7, number 11, number 12, number 6, I'm not sure if I ignore someone, okay? I'm going to later on, please listen to my speech very carefully and vote number 1 out. I only need one more vote. We can vote a wolf number 1 out. Number 1 has a lot of explosive points. Firstly, number 1 said, number 5 is small wolf and number 10 is a small gargoyle. So she wants to check number 10 first. It's a fake logic. Number 1 said, I have talked number 10 so much. I'm conveying information to number 10. However, if I'm a small wolf, 10 is a gargoyle. When the gargoyle receive a golden water, I do not need to talk too much. Only like you are golden water. A gargoyle receive a golden water will definitely recognize me. I do not need to talk so much. The reason I talk number 10 so much is because I'm the real seer. I have to let my golden water trust me because number 10 is far away from me. So I have to tell the legitimate reason for number 10 believing me. Number 1 then said she's going to check number 10 at first. If number 10 is golden water, it's a good thing. And then the tomekeeper will tell you, blah, blah, blah. There is a slippery slope. What's the logic between them, right? What's the logic between 10 is a good person and the tomekeeper? A seer's logic will go like that. If 10 is a good person, it's good because I will give you a double golden water and the good people will know 10 is absolutely a good person, right? That's the logic. However, number 1 hasn't a function of checking. That's the reason why she said that and has a slippery slope in her logic loopholes. Then number 1 said, number 8 could be very suspicious, right? 11 could be suspicious. 8 haven't just showed reasons for supporting me. 8 even haven't gave a speech, right? And also number 11 is a card that's supporting you. Number 11 said number 5 speech, and number 1 speech is much better than number 5. You are still suspicious about number 11. I think these parts all have demonstrated that number 1 has been very explosive. And then you have mentioned that I potentially, like, say, number 6 is good people. No, never. I just said I will put her as my first batch full of card off the election, but my intention is to clear the left-hand side. That's the reason I pick one card on the election. It doesn't relate to number 6 as a good person or a bad person. Okay, batch flow, number 7 and number 4. First 7, second 4. This round, please vote number 1 out as a werewolf.
开始放逐投票。
Now that you've heard number 1 and number 5 speech, make your vote and say who you think is a werewolf. You'll have 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Alright, let me show you the result of the voting. So I voted for number 1 again to kill number 1, and number 1 got voted out of the game. And as for what my role was in the game, I was a civilian in the game, so I was a good person. So everything I said in my speech weren't lies. They were all my genuine thoughts about why I think number 1 was not the seer and number 5 was the seer. It was kind of funny because instead of killing number 5 after number 1 died, they decided to kill me instead of number 5. And I actually got killed night 2. I don't know if they were too afraid of me or what, but I died really early this game. And to show the results, here were who were the werewolves. The 4 werewolves in the game were number 1, number 4, number 7, and number 12. Me, number 2, number 3, number 6, and number 10 were all civilians. And then 5 was a seer, 8 was a hunter, 9 was a witch, and then 11 was a tombkeeper. So there's the results. Probably if you are watching till this point, you are a little bit entertained by the game and you think this is a cool game. I do think it's a bit necessary to over-explain myself after people's speeches because I know this is probably a very new game to a lot of people. There are some phrases that people mention in the footage that are more meta to Chinese Werewolf itself. So overall, I hope this video was able to teach you a little bit about Chinese Werewolf, and in the future, I'm gonna send this video to people I want to play Chinese Werewolf with so that they know how to play the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this little scum reading exercise, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!